Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Now. Today is Monday, April 26th. I'm Stephanie Haney, and I've got your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thanks for choosing to be here. First up, we start with a bar owner down in Cincinnati who was going head-to-head with LeBron James. The owner of Lenny's Pub in Cincinnati posted on Wednesday, "If anybody wants to watch an NBA game, don't come to Lenny's Pub. We will not air them until LeBron James has been expelled from the NBA." I think we all know there is a 0% chance of that happening. This is all related to LeBron James tweeting last week after the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict, after Ma'Khia Bryant was killed by a police officer in Columbus. He had tweeted a photo that is believed to be the officer, Nicholas Reardon, who shot Ma'Khia Bryant, and he had written, "Your next, #accountability." He was talking about that officer being next in his view for charges and a trial related to that police killing. Now, James later deleted that tweet, saying that it was being used for more hate than good, but he did see that post from the owner of Lenny's Pub, and he responded pretty sarcastically. Here's what he said. He said, "Well, darn it, I was on my way to go watch our game there and have a drink. Well, too bad," kind of that kind of thing. And he used, different words. He used some choice language as well. So LeBron James not sweating the fact that a Cincinnati bar owner has decided not to show NBA games. So if you're in the Cincinnati area, it sounds like Lenny's Pub, not the spot for professional basketball games. We do know this. We've got an update out of Cedar Point. We were expecting more information about their upcoming COVID-19 protocols today, and we do have it. Spokesperson Tony Clark has confirmed to us that masks will no longer be required on rides. Now, masks will be required in some cases this upcoming season, but not on rides and not outdoors when you're able to be 6 feet or more apart. That's according to the park. They said that people 10 years of age and older will have to wear face coverings while indoors unless you are actively eating and drinking. Now, this is a big change from last year, when last year face coverings were required at all times at Cedar Point, even on the rides, of course, except while eating and drinking. Here are some other key changes. We do know that their temperature checks will no longer be happening at the gate, and there will be a health screening, yes, but that will be done at the gate, not through the Cedar Point app. And there won't be any limits on ride capacity, but social distancing measures will still be in place while people are waiting in line, and reservations will be required for both Cedar Point and Cedar Point Shores Water Park. That's both for season pass holders and single day ticket holders. We've got the link to make those reservations on WKYC.com, and the park opens on May 14th. Another big change happening to the Wolstein Center, which is the mass vaccination site for COVID-19 vaccinations at Cleveland State University. They're now accepting walk-ins starting tomorrow. Now, the Ohio National Guard says that walk-ins will be available starting Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., but a spokesperson has said that registering for an appointment in advance is still encouraged if you can do that, if you've got access to the internet, and that sort of thing. Now, the clinic was only supposed to run for 8 weeks. This week is now the start of week 7. This is the week that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was supposed to be used. But remember, a couple weeks ago, it was recommended that that be put on pause. Governor Mike DeWine decided to recommend as well for it to be put on pause here in the state of Ohio. Now, we've since heard from the CDC that they are recommending lifting that pause on the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. But still, the Wolstein Center is moving forward with the Pfizer vaccine for now, and so it will remain open for a couple of more weeks. It could remain open for as many as 4 more weeks in order to do that 2-week cycle, couple week cycle between those vaccinations to get that going. Now, we've got all that information on WKYC.com. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers. These first numbers come from Johns Hopkins University. Globally, the total number of COVID cases is now at 147,350,284, and the total number of deaths is now at 3,112,411. Here in the U.S., the total number of cases is at 32,092,128. The total number of deaths is at 572,287. We do have the most COVID cases, and we do have the most COVID deaths in the U.S. when you compare that number globally, even though the U.S. only has 4% of the global population, but we are continuing to see that percentage knocked down ever so slightly. We now have 22.8% of the COVID-19 cases worldwide and 18.4% of the COVID-19 deaths worldwide. Here in Ohio, these numbers come from the Ohio Department of Health. We've seen 1,396 new COVID cases in the last day, and we've seen 128 new hospitalizations, with 1,238 people being treated in the hospital right now for COVID-19. Out of those people, 352 of them are being treated in the ICU, and we've seen 12 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. Taking a look at the vaccination picture here in Ohio, over 30% of Ohioans are now completely vaccinated. That's more than 3.5 million people and over 35,000 people in the last day. I'm very happy to say that both my parents are now in the fully vaccinated camp. My mom got her second shot over the weekend. Very thankful for that, with no side effects, which I was very happy to hear because I had some rough ones. Looking at who has started the vaccine here in Ohio, over 39% of Ohioans have started the COVID-19 vaccine process. That's close to 4.6 million Ohioans, and more than 12,000 people have started that process in the last day. Now, one thing that people are looking forward to after they get vaccinated is going to these events where there will be more people than have previously been allowed. And downtown Cleveland is decorating and really showing out for the 2021 NFL Draft. That's happening here in Cleveland Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. We are in 2021 NFL Draft Week. If you go to all 6 of the Cleveland script signs, you'll see NFL Draft decorations. Also, downtown's East 4th Street, which is just a beautiful space. The casino pedestrian walkway at Prospect in Ontario is also decorated. The RTA's E-Line trolley is all decked out, and there are pole banners and RTA bus shelter wraps and sidewalk kiosks all around downtown and in its surrounding neighborhoods, really showing off for the 2021 NFL Draft. Here's my favorite thing. I love the Terminal Tower. It's so beautiful. One of my favorite things to do is walk around downtown Cleveland and just look up at the Terminal Tower. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's always lit up for something different, and it's going to be lit up with colors for each of the respective 32 NFL teams during their time on the draft clock, and each team's logo will be projected on the tower. So that will be very cool to see, because that draft clock goes pretty quickly. You know, during the first round, each team gets 10 minutes, and then I think it's 5 minutes during rounds 2 and 3 and so on and so forth as the days go on of the NFL Draft. So that will be very cool to check out, and I am looking forward to that. You can definitely check my Twitter, because I'll be posting photos of that for sure when we see our brownies pop up there on Terminal Tower. And that brings me to my topic for my 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney podcast this week. I've got a 2021 NFL Draft preview with none other than 3 News' sports director, our main sports anchor, and voice of the Browns himself, Jim Donovan. Now, we are talking all about how great it is that the Browns actually don't have a number 1 pick in this NFL Draft. We also talk about who those top prospects are likely to be. There's a Buckeye in the mix, OSU quarterback Justin Fields. Jim tells me why he thinks he might go pretty high in the NFL Draft and who else he thinks might be among those top picks. We talk about who's going to be here in town, and I give you a rundown of all the cool things that are happening here in town, from the NFL Draft experience to that brand new Super Bowl halftime show exhibit at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Really great stuff, so check that out. 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney. You can find that on every single podcast platform. Also, speaking of the entertainment, we know that our Cleveland native Machine Gun Kelley is closing down the 2021 NFL Draft on the final day, on day 3, on Saturday, May 1st. And we've also just learned that he's coming back to Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse in December. It's his show, Tickets to My Downfall. This is his tour. This is named after his 5th studio album, and this will be his last stop on the tour. So it'll be December 18th at the Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse. Tickets for pre-sale go on sale tomorrow, Tuesday, April 27th. And then tickets for the general public open up on Friday, April 30th. We've got it linked on WKYC.com. You can buy those tickets at rocketmortgagefieldhouse.com. And as we continue our Save Our Sauce feature with food editor Doug Tratner, we are taking a look at wineries in Northeast Ohio this week. So here's just a couple of them that you're going to want to check out that are part of that roundup. M. Cellars in Geneva. Now, this is a 12-year-old winery. It's the Grand River Valley Winery. They produce wines like a Brut Rosé, which is a sparkling wine made in the traditional champagne method, and also a Meritage. That's a Bordeaux-style blend. They've got a comfortable tasting room, a patio, beautiful outdoor seating overlooking those vineyards, and I got to take this opportunity. I got to take every opportunity to shout out my hometown of Canton, the 330, and something that I didn't know existed for far too long when I was in Canton, the Gervasi winery. This is on 55th Street Northeast in Canton, and it's incredibly elaborate. It's on 55 acres. The grounds are absolutely beautiful. It has 3 different restaurants. There's a cocktail lounge. There are villas. You can spend the entire weekend there. They produce award-winning red, white, and rose wines. And they've also recently unveiled a boutique distillery. So you can get your bourbon, your gin, your vodka, all that good stuff at the winery too. So make sure you check that out. And the whole list is up on wkyc.com/saveoursauce. Okay, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Monday, April 26th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment. And I will see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now. Between now and then, everyone stay safe and be well. I'm Stephanie Haney.